y'all want a provider, but y'all chase after the men that look like money. Let me tell you, some of the best providers, they don't look like money. They look like bombs. Let me tell you, because it's one of the three reasons. They either at work, finna go to work, or just left work. Either way, they don't look like money because they too busy getting to it. And like I said, that's what some women mess up at, because they too busy chasing after looks. See, a man can look like money, and he might even have it on him, but he don't have being a provider in him. So don't be delusional, because we all know looks can be deceiving.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Finish Your Breakfast with AV. I'm your host, AV, aka Mr. Weekday Mornings. Guys, today we're going to talk about expectations. We're going to talk about expectations that women have. And we're going to talk about how baseless they are and how you should never involve and allow yourself to change the trajectory of your life that's going to make you happy for what a woman expects from you. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but women claim they won't date a man who lives with his mother, but will date a man who lives with his baby's mom. How crazy does that sound? How crazy does that sound? Women pick and choose what they tend to overlook. This is where the conversation comes in regards to a quote unquote high value man. Women share a man who is considered high value. If they're attracted to you, if you are hitting all the buttons, and it's not just necessarily financial, they're willing to overlook some shit. If you're not doing anything, you're not enhancing their lifestyle, you're not enhancing their mind, you're not dicking them down properly, more than likely they're going to nitpick on a lot of shit. But if you're doing your thing, you remain the man that they've always wanted, or the man that they've always been attracted to from the first place, and you never change, you're in a good position to keep the woman pretty much in the same place in regards to whatever you decide to give her, whatever you decide to allow her to be a part of, she's going to be grateful for, because it's going to be similar to a reward, right? So we talk about the conundrum about the expectations, right? We talk about what women want. They want a guy who's over 6 feet tall, pack abs, six-figure income. These are all the things that women want, but just because you want it doesn't mean that they're entitled to it, right? Now, social media, feminism, all the shit that we talk about on a daily basis are factors as to why these women feel like they are entitled to that. And as a result of that, women tend to wind up regretting later on in life. They wind up lonely. They wind up finger popping themselves. They wind up relying on toys and pets as service animals. A lot of women tend to lean on their children as well, because in theory, your kids are supposed to love you unconditionally. But there's a lot of things that women tend to overlook with good men. Maybe you don't meet the height requirement that women expect you to be. Maybe you're not making as much money. You're making decent money, but you're not making as much money for her. She wants to keep up with the Joneses. Maybe you can only go on a trip once or twice a year as opposed to every quarter, like her friends or the people that she's following on social media. So today we're going to talk about 7 qualities women overlook in good men. A lot of women have lost good men, good opportunities, the narcissists that they are. They're never going to admit to it, but it is what it is. It's up to you as the man to know your value, and it's up to you to have knowledge of self and to really know that you are indeed the prize. Very important. Okay. So number 1, women tend to overlook this quality. A man who puts himself first. A man who puts himself first, a woman tends to overlook this quality. You're going to be labeled as selfish. You're going to be labeled a narcissist. You're going to be labeled a misogynist. But you have to understand and take this into consideration. You shouldn't let anyone shame you for wanting to put yourself first. That is a good quality. That's a quality of a leader. That's a quality of a masculine man who a woman can count on. And because of social media, the TV, their toxic friends and their jealous mothers, a lot of times they're going to expect you to make sure that you put yourself last. Everyone gets to eat and you eat last. You fall on your sword until one day, miraculously, the woman decides to leave you. And now you got to start from scratch. So a man putting himself first is not only should be a admirable quality, but it is a quality that is necessary for a harmonious relationship with any woman. Okay. Number two, a man who likes to stay home. You heard what I said? A quality that women tend to overlook a lot is a man who likes to stay home. He doesn't want to go outside. He's been there, done that. You've gone to the clubs and shit. You're losing sleep. You're wasting money. You're sleeping in. You're wasting your day. You're going out there to hold up a wall. Maybe, if you're not popping bottles, what's the point? I'm not saying you got to stay home all the time, but a woman always wants to have fun. She always wants to be entertained, right? Two things you can't do to a woman is make them is to bore them and to not fuck them good. So at the end of the day, when a woman is constantly bored, she's going to be a headache for you. And that's a tendency. She has a tendency to overlook the quality that a man has kind of been there, done that, and wants to kind of be at home, save money, strategize, etc. So if you're a homebody and you feel compelled because of this young thing that you're trying to bang or this young thing that's making you feel young, this is something that you may want to hold firm. Once in a while, going out is okay. But if you're going out every week and you're celebrating nothing, that's something that you need to look at. Number three, a man who is drama free. A man who is drama free, bro. We don't argue with women. We don't argue with anybody. You shouldn't be arguing with anybody on social media. Somebody posts something on Instagram. You disagree with it. You have an opposing POV or viewpoint. You shouldn't be arguing, going back and forth with anybody. Content creators, you shouldn't be arguing with other niggas on the microphone. You shouldn't be arguing with women. You got to be drama free. That's female tendencies. That's why I always find it comical that the leaders in these male spaces always have these fucking meltdowns. They're throwing mugs on the floor. They're flipping out. They're doing dumb shit. It's like we all men, we all have cock and balls. And I'm pretty sure if you're a man, you have a temper. You know your limits. You know how you look. But I'm sure when you were younger, you did some shit like that you would probably regret. So it's important for a man to always contain himself and make sure that you are stoic. And stoicism is very important in terms of keeping a level head, because how can anybody count on you if you are quick to blow up, if you're quick to have an attitude or a temper? Okay. Women thrive off of drama. And a lot of times, women, if you don't engage in the drama with them, they don't feel like you care about them. So now they're going to say, well, if a man really cares about me, AV, they're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to keep me. They're going to be willing to fight for me. The only thing a man should be fighting for and chasing is greatness. His name, his last name, his legacy, whatever he's working for, that's the only thing we're fighting for, man. Most of you bitches are not worth fighting for. Most of you bitches are not worth getting the headache for, not even the pussy. So a lot of times, younger women in particular will overlook a man who is drama free. They'll have the nerve to call you boring. Don't fall for that shit, man. We turn up when it's necessary. We pop off when it's necessary, but it's all about strategic movements. Everything we have to do has to be intentional, and we have to be strategic about it. No drama. We all drama free here. Number four, a man who is on his purpose. A man who is on his purpose. I know it sounds a little redundant. It sounds basic. Duh, AV, a man who's on his purpose. But a lot of times women don't understand what that takes, what that means. When you're on your purpose, you have a nice car, maybe you have some nice clothes, you have a nice apartment, a nice house. Women look at the surface levels things. Most women don't really have to work for much if they're pretty. They get a lot of shit handed to them. So when the man has to be on his purpose, He has to sacrifice. He can't go out as much. He has to strategize and he has to be a little bit more strategic with his movements. He can't engage in the drama and the bullshit. A lot of women will overlook that because they don't see the big picture. A lot of times men have to promote and kind of paint a picture for a woman, but is it worth it? Is the woman worth your explanation? Is the woman worth looking at your vision? You have to vet the woman properly. It takes a really long time for the woman to get to know you or to at least be privy to any information that you have going on. So at the end of the day, a man who is on his purpose, a lot of times women have a tendency to overlook. Number 5, a man who is humble. A man who is humble, bro. A lot of women overlook this quality. And I'm not talking about a sucker. I'm not talking about a man who's not going to celebrate his accomplishments, who's not going to flex, who's not going to be outspoken, who's not going to walk tall, chin up, chest out. You worked hard for this. It's your time to shine and to celebrate. I'm talking about a man who is humble, a man who doesn't feel like he has to compete with anybody. Comparing yourself to the Joneses is some shit that females do, even if you got money. All these people, these white people, these Jewish people, these people who are really affluent, they got dirty ass sneakers. They're old. They dress up like they dressing from Walmart. They don't wear other people's name brands. Only black people do that silly shit. Amiri and all these name brands. And most of these expensive name brands, you know that these designers don't even want you to wear their shit. But we wear it anyway because we want to look fly. We want to show everybody that we've finally made it. So if you decide to wear your own merch, you're not showing your car, you're not showing your views, you're not showing what you have. Women don't find value in that because they want to see and show off to people. So humility is something that is very important. You don't have to compare or show what you have because a lot of times too, if you show what you have and you're showing all the money you have, you're putting yourself out as a trick and as a target. And a lot of times the niggas will rob you. That's very important. Okay. So a man who is humble, be humble because you never know. It can all be taken away from you, man. The muscles, the money, you can get into an accident, you can lose it all. But if your mind is right, you can get it all back. Number 6, a man who is frugal. Not cheap, frugal. A man who knows how to allocate, who is financially responsible, who pays his bills on time, who understands interest, who understands and invests his money properly. He's not just throwing money away just cuz. If you're a man, you're an older man, you shouldn't be doing that at this age, even if you got the money. Now, there's a time and place, in my opinion, for you to spend money, have fun. But is spending money having fun or investing money having fun? It's really up to you, right? I've been in positions where I've had more money than I have now, ups and downs, right? But for the most part, I've never gone without. I've always been able to do the things that I needed to do, and I've always been blessed in that regard. But a man who is frugal, who doesn't want to go out every fucking weekend, go to brunch every weekend, spend all this money and shit, and the bitch is just there to look pretty, doesn't make any sense to me. So a woman who is overlooking that quality because they don't know what they want, they're calling you cheap, and we know that you're just more financially smart and being frugal. There's nothing wrong with being frugal and investing your money into things that really matter. And number 7, a man who is patient. Are you patient, bro? Greatness takes time. You're not supposed to rush greatness. A lot of women want things right now. When you're younger, you want everything now. You want everything tomorrow. At the end of the day, man, patience is a virtue. Some of us were forced to learn that. Some of us are still working on it every day. I'm working on it. But at the end of the day, if you can't master patience, you're never going to be able to help and keep the woman that you're with at bay. If the woman believes in you enough, she sees your vision, she sees your grind, she sees your hustle, she's going to appreciate that thing. It's not going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, she'll see the big picture. And if she rides with you, she appreciates the big picture, she'll be able to eat and take advantage of the rewards and the fruits of your labor. I appreciate everybody for being here. Do me a favor, make sure you guys like the video, share the video, let everybody know that breakfast was being served. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.